Hey, everyone. It's Isaiah and Chris, and we are coming live to you as some of our speakers from the Women Lighting the Way Summit. And right this minute, we are going to be talking to Cindy. Cindy, I'm pronounce your name, so I'm going to try it. Cindy Wensley Gertz. Is that good enough?
That's very close.
Thank you. Can you do it for me, please?
Yes, it's Bensley Gertz. So think of
Bensley.
Mercedes Bensley.
I can do that.
Oh.
Awesome. So, if you have not heard me talk about the Women Lighting the Way 2023 edition yet, here's your chance. This is awesome. It's year 3. We have 14 amazing speakers. We're all going to roll their stories. It's next week. It's free for you attendees, but you have to register following the link that I put below the video. It's also above the video. It's everywhere. Please, please, please don't miss out on listening to these stories. These stories really this year I've been humbled. I'm really very impressed. I've been the lucky one to have listened to all the talks beforehand, and I'm really both proud for having all those women in my posse and humbled by amazing stories. And so today we have Cindy, and the plan for these lives is we do not have a plan. The only plan we have is question number 1, because I'm really happy, and I think that Chris is too, that we have speakers from all over the world. My question would be, where are you from?
Yeah, so originally I am from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in the States, and I have spent most of my life living in the Midwest. I lived in Illinois for a little while, and now I live in West Central Wisconsin. And thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh,
yeah,
you're like right there.
Yes,
yeah, I think you are.
Reach out and touch
You're
you.
right over there.
Yeah, I think you kind of neighbors.
You're in Minnesota.
But man, I think it's cold here. You were a Youper, right?
Yes, we are known as Youpers. And you know what's really funny is it actually is colder
please, sorry,
here.
European here. Can I know what a Youper is? How do you write it? What does it mean? How do you pronounce it? And I know nothing about it.
Right. So you spell it Yooper. And it's a nickname for people who are from the UP, which is short for Upper Peninsula. Because Michigan is two peninsulas, basically. So let me pull out my map for you. This is Michigan.
The mitten. Yes. This is Michigan.
Yep, the mitten of Michigan. That's what we call it.
I live here.
Awesome. And so basically what you're telling me is that it's even colder than where Chris lives.
Yeah, well, I grew up on the big lake, Lake Superior, also called Gitchigumi. And it is, the temperature is moderated by the lake. So we get a lot of snow, like 250, 300 inches sometimes. But it's more bitter, like cold down here. Like it gets in your bones, bitter cold.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Interesting.
So it's not as cold up there. It's just more snow.
I thought it was going to be great living down here. And it's actually the one thing that was very disappointing is like, oh my gosh, it actually is colder. And there's not as much snow to go out and have fun in. So,
but just for what's the temperature now? Because one of the things that I've been really very impressed European discussing with Chris is the variation of temperatures. So the amount of cold that she has to face, she and her family and the other people of St. Paul have to face in the winter, and the amount of freaking heat that they have to face in the summer.
Yeah.
So is it the same for you?
It's mid 80s and humid here right now, which is pretty typical. And that's the other thing I really love about the UP. It might be mid 80s there, but it's a lot drier because there's a nice breeze that comes off the big lake. So, and then, in the winter, as Chris knows, we can drop down into double-digit negative temperatures, and it lasts for like 2-3 weeks at a time. And it's just Ah.
Okay. And
Yeah,
again,
I didn't
for
realize before moving here that there's like, oh, here's my winter coat, but this is my big coat. Like
Your parka.
the real one.
Yeah, and our mucklucks.
Yeah.
Do you have mucklucks, Chris?
And it's so funny. I have had, yes. It's funny, I have Isaiah's hometown on my weather app. So I always see what it's like there, and we're at the same temperature right now,
yeah,
Isaiah.
which never
Although it
happens.
says that you're raining.
Yeah, it's going to in very
Yeah.
shortly, and I think we've been on a thunderstorm, huge thunderstorm warning for days now. It kind of rains every day, which we hate, and it's not supposed to. But it's very rare that we have the similar temperatures. Usually, you're either colder, way colder, or hotter. So yeah, no, I think that
Right.
it's really interesting. It feels weird to discuss the weather, but I believe that the connection to the natural elements, which the weather is a big part of, a very profound way to connect with the environment of where we live. And I think
Yeah.
it creates. I remember my father came. He's now dead, but he came from a village that was at the bottom of a very very profound and deep, which means they had no horizon. And these people were short-sighted, literally, like they had no
Oh,
dreams.
wow.
A population that was little, they couldn't see past the mountain. They had everything that came from the outside was dangerous, foreign, feared it. Traditionally, of TV and cars, it became different. But and I believe that our environment really influences who we are. And so the fact that you are from there, not like, the nomad that Chris is, but you are from there. And I'm pretty sure that, and my next question will have to go into these birds that are behind you. I want to know, who are they there? Because again,
Right.
part of the environment.
Yeah, the things you're saying about environment and thinking about where I grew up, I'm having like some little light bulbs go off about, sometimes I'm a big picture thinker and sometimes I have really vast dreams, and I'm still working on them because they're so big, like the big lake. So this painting behind me
Yeah.
with the birds is really interesting story. My dad sold my grandmother's house a couple years ago, and my daughter and I were going through some of the closets, and we found a couple paintings, two paintings different than this one, that were not signed, but I suspected that my grandmother had painted them. So
Oh,
I texted my cousins and sent them pictures and said, "Hey, do you know if grandma painted these? They're not signed." And they're like, "Well, she could have. She started dabbling in arts and piano and things like that when she was in her 60s. And it looks like, something she might have done." And, we kind of like wondered, oh, could it have been the rentals? But no, why would they be left there? Why would they have been in a closet all this time? And then last summer I saw them and they're like, "We found another one." And they gave this to me. And what's really cool about it is she was in the middle of it. She didn't actually finish it. And I have plans to kind of collage some things in and finish it and kind of put my own signature on it. And I might get emotional about this because I didn't always have the greatest relationship with this grandma. And it feels like opportunity for us to heal our relationship. Yeah,
Ooh,
so
and
thank you for
I
asking me
love that
about
wow.
you
that.
I love that you have put behind you an unfinished picture. I
Yeah.
think it's I'm sorry to go there, but typical of us, we're looking for perfection, and we're only, let me do my background with all the, perfect things. And I've had this conversation with the many of you speakers over the years on, if I record my talk, what should be on the background? How can I make it more perfect? And I love that you own the fact that no, it's not finished, because I'm not
Yeah.
finished, because we're work in progress, basically.
Right. I'm
Lives
not finished.
are.
And Yeah, I'm not finished. And we also had unfinished business. And like, I just love that you zoned in on that. And we're talking about imperfection because, when in my story, when I talk about my quarter life crisis, I mean, that's what led me to burnout was this idea of always having to perfect everything and be productive and please other people. And so the idea that this is a practice to
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
something on my wall that is imperfect. So
And also at
yeah.
the same time that you can see it whenever you
So,
record whatever, you can see it, and you kind of walk this path of healing with your grandmother, even before you actually go and collage on it. I love that. Thank you very much for sharing.
yeah.
Thank you for asking.
I have a weird, I have a little bit of a weird question. Do you know what your moon sign is?
I don't know if I know what my moon sign is. My
Okay.
name, Cynthia, means the moon. I love the
Oh,
moon.
I when you were talking about that need to be productive and perfect, um, I have a Virgo moon, and something I read recently made me think that that's where that comes from. Like,
Ah,
it's just really hard to relax and kind of in opposition of that need to always be
yeah,
productive. Like, oh, I know there's something I could be working on right now instead of just, allowing yourself to relax
yeah, always.
and breath.
I'll have to look that up. I mean, I had my chart read a couple years ago, but it's something that it might be in there. I revisit that often. I
Yeah.
took copious notes because there was so much. And it was the first time I ever had it done, so I'm still learning, but that would be so, so interesting to find that out. Yeah, to look into that a little more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so much fun. Actually, okay. So this was my kind of a question that came to me. All right. And it kind of is on the same line. So is there a sign? Well, what is your
I'm a
sign? What
Cancer.
is your sun sign? Oh, me too. Okay. So have you ever had sign envy? Have you ever wished you were another sign?
Ooh. Actually, never. I love
No.
being a
Okay.
Cancer. I was born in July and I embrace the summer and the sun and um yeah, and the crab, moves sideways. So it's like that's a really feminine type of motion rather than
Oh,
kind of like the more forward focused and
I'm a
one
Taurus,
pointed
so
focus.
I'm a Taurus,
Yeah,
so we go
right?
forward.
That's probably more. Yeah.
yeah.
So I really embrace that energy. I love it. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a little. I like to extend my birthday. It actually just came up today, so that's kind of a little fun fact about me. Is like the longer I can stretch out my birthday, the better.
Awesome. Absolutely. Why not?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah. I was
how do
thinking
you celebrate it?
my my birthday's on a Saturday this year, and I'm like, ew, a Saturday in the summer? Like everyone's gonna be everywhere that I want to go. Can I celebrate it like a couple days ahead
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
for a month?
Yeah, a month longer. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you doing for
Sorry,
no, I was
Isaiah, I cut
just
you off.
what are you going to do for your birthday this year? Early
Yeah.
on, I mean.
So, yeah, I heard you ask, how do I celebrate my birthday? And
Mm.
I've celebrated my birthday in many different ways. When I was little, we used to have family birthday parties at our cabin in Michigan. And, as I got older and kind of got stuck in that habit of overworking and perfectionism, I actually worked on a lot of my birthdays.
Mm.
And what I have done the last several years is commit to taking a week off around my birthday, and sometimes two if I can stretch it. So my favorite place to be is up north in Michigan, and it's in a place called Bootjack, and that's where I will be. I will be near the water on the beach, probably perusing for stones because I love to collect them, and
Aha.
just enjoying the sunshine because it's my favorite place to be is in the sun.
Awesome. And is it a swimmable
Yeah, that sounds
lake
perfect.
Very
somewhere?
swimmable. Yes, it's actually
Awesome.
perfect. It's a large enough lake that it's not like full of algae and lily pads, and it's a nice rocky sandy bottom, but it's also connected to Lake Superior, so it's on the cooler side, but it's not as cold as Lake Superior. So
Awesome.
it is
Oh,
absolutely
Oh,
perfect.
so many places I want to visit.
Yes.
So many places now.
Yes, come and
Yes.
visit sometime.
Well, don't tempt me. I have to finish my book this year, so I'm not going anywhere.
Aha. That's a
But
big
next
endeavor.
year,
Okay.
I can't promise anything. Well, thank you very, very much, Cindy, for having us. Thanks, Chris,
Yeah.
for joining today.
Yeah.
And so, again, for anyone listening, either live or if you do not have your seat for next week's amazing Women Lighting the Way summit, do so now. It's free. You get access to 14 amazing, incredible, authentic, crazy stories. And challenging, really humbled this year by the talks and by the speakers. Hello, Denise. And so get your ticket, get it now. You also have access to some freebies, some giveaways, and some amazing offers if you want to work with our speakers very much. And mostly you will get to listen and to kind of share the stories of our speakers and the women sharing their most powerful things in the world at this moment. I'm pretty sure. I want to thank everyone again for participating, and I hope this project lives on for years after. Thank you, Cindy, for being one of the 2023
Yes.
members.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Cindy.
much for having me. And a shout out to Denise. Thank you for being here, Denise.
Absolutely.
It's good to see you.
Absolutely. And sending lots of love to all of you, whether live or on the replay.